Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the morning crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
And it's Friday.
I've created a monster, cause nobody wants to see Marcel no more. They want shady, I'm chopped liver. Well, if you want shady, this is what I'll give you. A little bit of weed mixed with some hard liquor, some vodka that'll jumpstart my heart quicker than a shock when I get shocked at the hospital by the doctor when I'm not cooperating. When I'm rocking the table while he's operating. Hey! You waited this long to stop debating, cause I'm back, I'm on the rag and ovulating. I know that you got a job, Miss Cheney, but your husband's heart problem's complicating. So the FCC won't let me be, or let me be me, so let me see. They try to shut me down on MTV, but it feels so empty without me.
Let's go. It is 6:04, 31 degrees, and you're getting close to the weekend. We're here for you to get you just that 4 hours closer. Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Give us that proof of life check-in, 312-591-8300. What do you got going on right at this very moment? We got a lot. 8 o'clock, again, Riot Fest tickets. And we'll also have another big announcement today concerning Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So, 8 o'clock, the tickets, and a big announcement. Because just yesterday, we had the Cage the Elephant announcement at 7. We'll have Cage the Elephant tickets coming up in Clash with Kenzie, where Lauren O'Neill will be filling in for Kenzie on maternity leave. So 7:10, be here for that. So 7:10, and then 8 at the Riot Fest. And 9 Pink Moon, a chance to see Noah Khan in Florida, a whole trip.
You get a whole cove to yourself?
A cove. It's amazing. You know, these coves are just available for people. They're not really just for you. I mean, there's not going to be 17, 18 coves out there.
Yes, and according to your research, it's a cove for you and 3 friends.
Yeah, it's a trip for you and 3.
Anything can happen when 4 people are in a cove.
You get a condo, too. Stay on that deal at 9 o'clock when we do that.
I'm going to try to win this. The more I think about it, this trip sounds awesome.
Well, you know, we can say we can put you up in a hotel, but you get a condo. It's a different story.
Condo Brian is different than Hotel Brian.
You ever seen the movie Project X?
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
My dad loved that movie, which I always found to be odd.
Your dad?
Yeah. I think it just made him remember his younger years.
Well, I was thinking dads would hate that movie because it's about kids destroying a house and a party.
Yeah, but I was also his son. He knew I wasn't capable of that.
That's too bad.
He was like, well, he needs to have friends to do this. He doesn't really have friends.
Oh, boy.
It's fine. I turn out
We're
okay.
opening up with a real wormhole here. It's time for a therapy session with Case for the first minute of the show.
No, but I think it's odd that, like, my parents, when they were in high school and college, they were big partiers. And they had 2 sons who, just to put it mildly, were not.
That's too bad.
I know.
Actually, it's probably good for them. It's easier. I mean, my parents never went anywhere. So we never had a house party. I would always say, why don't you guys, at least drive to Columbus, Ohio or something.
The big city.
Like all these friends of mine, these parents would go away to Florida and stuff like that. And they just go somewhere so I can have a party on the weekend. I guess it was a blessing looking back on it because I went to other people's house parties and, saw houses get destroyed like Project X.
Yeah. I always worry about that when I become a parent where I never snuck out. I wasn't really mischievous. I just kind of did my thing, and my thing was listening to the Cranberries in my bedroom.
Wow.
There wasn't a lot going on. So I don't feel like I'm up to date on what teenagers do to sneak around, and I think I will be very caught off guard by mischievous teens in the future.
Well, I wonder if there's still house parties that get out of control.
Yes, as somebody that was in high school under a decade ago, yes.
Okay, because I don't know if I see that. I
would hope not. It would be weird if you were at house parties.
Oh, I could put on my letter jacket.
Well, how do you do, fellow kids?
Hey, hey guys, remember when we won state?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys don't remember? Oh, it was epic, man. The party. Hey, pass that PBR over here. I'm gonna shotgun that for you.
I'm gonna shotgun that for you?
Yeah, here's what we'll do. If you have a house party coming up, I'm out of town this weekend. But next weekend, my in-laws are coming in, so I could probably use one night out to go get drunk a little bit. So if your kid's having a house party,
we'll put it on the weekend Q101. Give us your home address. Brian and I will show up and drink all your beer.
Yeah, I'll come over there. I'll find I still have my high school letter jacket somewhere.
I know you do.
I still have it. And I'll put that on. I'll come over. Hello, fellow kids. Shotgun some beers. Who's with me? Who's in on this? Oh, maybe nobody. We'll see. So coming up again, like I said, the Riot Fest at 8, 7:10. Cage the Elephant tickets get here to get in class with Kenzie. And Lauren can hang out with us again all morning long. We also have some random tickets like beach weather.
A lot of Glazer.
Yeah, should we give something away early, you think?
We should. I'd love to hook up the people in the 6 o'clock hour, these early risers.
You know what? You want to do it right now?
Let's do it right now.
Let's reward someone for just being here at the beginning of the show. How about, let's see, which one should we do, Case? It's an on-air production meeting.
Let's do beach weather right now. That's a hot ticket. That show's coming up on Tuesday. Let's get somebody to that show.
Let's do that. You reward you for just being here. That's it. No tease. No make you wait for it. Beach weather tickets, Lincoln Hall. That is Tuesday, March 5th. Coming up, that's just Tuesday. It sounds weird to say March 5th. 312-591-8300. Caller 10, you are there.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Well, congrats to Zach in Chicago. He got himself the beach weather tickets. We decided to open the show and just give something out right away. It's Friday. What the hell? We got so much stuff to give away. 8 o'clock Riot Fest. And in an hour, less than an hour, Clash with Kenzie, Cage the Elephant tickets. A lot of big shows. And we have a big announcement at 8 o'clock. So be here for that as well as people checking in on the idea of going to some house parties this weekend. Let's see here. 815 checked in and said all the kids nowadays just get fake IDs and hang out at the bars. Well, that's not a new thing. In fact, that was more common, I thought, back in the day.
Did you have a fake ID?
I did not have my own fake ID. I had this guy that was my brother's friend who looked like me.
What was his name?
His name was Bob.
No, it wasn't.
You know what his last... I can tell you because he might be listening. His odds are he's not. Bob Smoot. Yeah, that was his name. Yeah, I remember it because I had to remember everything about him on his ID. But back then...
When was his birthday?
His birthday, he was... He was a couple years older than me legitimately.
Yeah.
The ID, so it was his ID. It wasn't fake on his end. So I would go in with his girlfriend to the bar. He had a hot girlfriend, too.
My man.
So I looked... It was weird because I was a dork. So I'd walk in with his girlfriend and people would go like... She can't be with him. He must have a fake ID. You know, doesn't look right at all. And he was always cool. He'd say, you go in, you guys sit down and get a beer, and then she'll walk out, give me my ID back, and I'll walk in again with her like 5 or 10 minutes later. And it always worked.
Really?
No one said, hey, didn't you just get here? And so then I didn't have an ID all night. And it's back in the day when they didn't ask you for the ID at the bar to buy a beer. Once you were in, you were good. Like a lot of times you'll go into a bar, they don't check at the door, and then they check at the bar.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you can't really pull that move off there.
No.
Because they're looking at you right at your face, and you can't do it. You can't have two people with the same ID at the bar.
You ever think you had a shot with her? Like maybe she would want the fake ID guy, not the real ID guy?
No. Although I don't think they're married today.
All right, so you're saying there's a chance.
No, I'm married now. There's no chance. I'm very happy.
Willie checked in from Mundelein. He said, I can't wait for Brian to show up to a high school party with beer and for Chris Hansen to come out.
Oh, my God. What are you doing here today?
I'm just asking some questions.
I'm just hanging out with my boys. What are you talking about, you
We're
idiot?
going to state, baby.
I would love to bring Giovanni and the Hired Guns to a house party. I bet they would come and do that bit.
I guarantee they would do that.
Yeah, it's Brian and Kenzie, Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Well, before we get to the fact that makes your brain go, we don't close out completely the conversation of house parties when you were young and even older, whatever. But Dan checked in. He goes, I don't think house parties are a big deal anymore because Ring cameras, parents can see everything.
That sucks, because that's a great point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was somebody in our neighborhood I remember, and these were like the cool parents, I guess, where they invited everybody over the house. The kid was 18, he could have a party, and then they were there, and they let the kids drink.
Okay.
And then somebody's parents, when they went home, didn't love that idea, called the police on them. The parents went to jail.
Really?
For, I think, 2 months.
For 2 months?
Something like that. They went.
I thought it'd be like an overnight thing.
Oh no! They had a sentence for serving alcohol to underage people.
Huh?
I thought there was some kind of old-timey law that if it's in your own home and no one leaves, you could give a beer to an 18-year-old.
That's what the founding fathers wanted?
Yeah, that's of course what they wanted. I mean, They couldn't have perceived that there'd be an open container law sometime in the future.
And I'm not a drinker, but I think open container laws are stupid. You should be able to drink outside.
Yeah. I told you that a couple weeks ago I got a slice in a Modelo and drank it all the way down the street until I saw a cop and I whipped it into a bush.
Thanks for littering, Brian.
I'm a grown-ass man and I all of a sudden became a 12-year-old. I'm like, I'm with, Megan's walking Harper and I'm just drinking this beer and I'm like, oh my God, we can't get arrested like this.
I can't stop thinking about this Ring doorbell camera thing because for anybody that's just now getting in, what Brian wants to go to a house party and drink beer with high schoolers. That's kind of how we started the show today.
If you ever seen Project X, or hell, old school, I guess, with Will Ferrell, Frank the Tank. I've been called Frank the Tank many occasions.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of the parents here, where they're out on a Friday night, they get a Ring doorbell notification, they click open, and they go, is that Brian from Q101? Does he have Keystone Light at my doorstep right now?
Is he doing a beer bong?
Yeah.
Loaded up with Mad Dog? With my daughter?
And I just know you'd have the biggest smile on your face.
I mean, you're like, I know, I'm going to Best Buy, Home Depot. I don't know if we have enough time on Saturday. Okay, I'll do one. Okay, come on in. Just one. It'll be great. All right, time for a fact. It'll make your brain go boom. How about this? Your name determines your success. Your name alone. And we're going to give you these names that are billionaires and successful people. And might be your name. Number one is ridiculous. Okay, I'll just tell you that right now. So just sit tight. We'll tell you if you're going to be successful. Even if you're older in life, you still have a chance to become a millionaire or billionaire. It's never too late.
It's not too late.
No. It's going to be my motivational speaking conversation here. Just got to have a vision and a goal. And every morning, wake up with that vision in your head. You can be 60, 70 years old and still become a millionaire.
I've heard better motivational speeches before.
That inch we need is right in front of your face.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We just listed off the names that lead to success. So maybe you have this name. Maybe you named a kid this name. I'll go through them real quick. Jim, Richard, Zhang, Charles, Mark, Wang, Michael, Thomas, David, and John.
Don't put that much emphasis on Wang.
God, I wish my name was Wang.
You should go by Brian Wang for your next radio job.
That sounds good. Hey, it's the Wanger.
It's Wang in the morning?
Yeah, it's Wang in the morning with 10 in a row or $10,000. And then the big voice guy comes in and goes like, the Wanger.
Do that again.
The Wanger.
That's great.
Yeah, I can do that.
You should do voices for our station.
Yeah, I should.
Oh, my God.
They charge me a little more money. A little invoice, and I'll do that. All right, so we talked about, somehow we got on the path that, because Case liked the name Charlie, and Charlie's a pretty good one there. Charles, I said people call them Charlie usually. That's number 4 on the list of rich, successful people. Brought up, Charlie's, the restaurant. There's only one in Illinois. It's in Marion, Illinois. And I've been through there, but I don't know much about it. I was debating the 16,000 population. Can I know Charlie survived there? A lot of people checked in. So now Charlie just checked in. A Charlie.
That's
see?
fine.
I bet he never says I'm Charles.
And I also bet he's loaded.
I don't know, Charlie. Let us know.
Let us know how much you make.
Well, what he wanted to say was there's a Charlie's Cheesesteaks in Darien. So that's as close as we get in this area. Charlie's Cheesesteaks, though, sounds amazing.
That does sound really good.
I'll have to Google that. He says, by the way, my name is Charlie. I text it all the time. See? Oh, he says his name is Charlie legitimately.
Yeah, okay, all right.
His parents didn't say Charles.
Because I made the argument there's not a lot of people going by Charles anymore. He's a Charlie.
Okay, more facts about Marion, Illinois. A Rich checked in from 847. He's from Oakwood. He says, Marion, Illinois is where the big prison is, where John Gotti was prisoner.
Oh, really?
That's a great fact. That's awesome. That is. You know anything about John Gotti?
I know he's a bad guy.
Well, he's dead now.
Well, he was a bad guy.
He was a bad guy. I mean, he was the mob guy that basically based it after The Godfather. He was like in the Goodfellas. He was like flamboyant. I shouldn't say he was amazing. I almost said he was amazing because he was a bad guy.
Well, he was amazing at what he did.
He's the most recognized like mob guy in real life, John Gotti.
This will sound wrong. This is wrong of me to say, but sometimes I'll read like a Chicago crime story, and it's like such and such pulled off 3 robberies in 15 minutes, and I'm always like, God, that's impressive. Just the efficiency to do that is really incredible.
Right.
Was Gotti a Teamster?
I'm sure he had something to do with the Teamsters.
Okay, I don't want to make any accusations.
Well, here's what's funny. On this radio station back in the day, in the sludge days I was just talking about there, when I used to go by that name and made no money, No, not like a Charles out there.
Of course not.
I interviewed Victoria Gotti because she had a reality show that was called, what was it called? Being Gotti or Growing Up Gotti, I think it was. It was a great show. And I interviewed her, and so John Gotti was already arrested and in jail. And I had a program director that said, you know what you should do is you should treat her bad. Like be mean to her on the phone and get her riled up. And I'm like, what world do you live in? So you want me to antagonize a woman that is so connected, I wouldn't make it 2 feet out of the studio before I was Al Capone. This is how bosses think sometimes, people. We're just letting you behind the curtain this morning, feeling a little goofy.
Funny advice. You should treat her bad.
Like, be mean to her and get her riled up. I treated her like a queen in that interview.
I bet.
Miss Victoria, how are you doing? It was a great show, actually. Pretty funny show. Growing Up Gotti, is that what it was?
That's what it was called.
Yeah, good reality show running deep
stuff.
back in the day.
More on Marion, Illinois. Mike checked in. He said the only thing to do in Marion is hunt deer and do meth.
Oh.
He should work on their tourism board. That sounds awesome.
Should be a billboard. Okay. Also, other people checking in on those names, the rich names. Jilly checking in from 815. I'm married to a Charles. If he was rich, I wouldn't have to win concert tickets just to get a date night. Well, we do have the Cage the Elephant tickets coming up at 7:10 and the Riot Fest at 8, so I'm sorry he's not taking care of you there. My boyfriend is a Charles 219 checked in. He hates being called Charlie. All right, that's good. You should be proud of Charles.
I can get that. That Charlie feels very boyish.
Yeah. Rachel checked in from 773. I'm marrying a Charles. His family calls him Charlie. Friends call him Chuck. And I call him Charles. Oh, that's love right there.
That's very nice. Also, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. Let us know when the wedding is.
That's an interesting couple because he goes by Charles and she's Rachel with an A-E, which I always find to be the fancy version of Rachel.
Yeah.
I bet they're very well off.
I like that name, Rachel.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Charlie also checked in again, 630. Charlie, who told us about the Charlie's cheesesteaks in Darien. He says, I was also arrested in Marion last year.
I'm glad you're out now.
I didn't think we get all these Marion facts this morning, but it's going great.
Wow.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my gosh. Also, someone grew up and said that I grew up in Carbondale, right near Marion. That place sucks. Well, there you go.
At least they have an O'Charlie's, though.
I'm still thinking about that road trip to O'Charlie's. We'll get the menu up there at our Q101 Facebook page so you can check it out. In the meantime, Gil Curtis on the way with your headlines. And again, those Cage the Elephant tickets coming up just after 7 when Lauren O'Neill gets here. She'll be filling in for Kenzie in trivia because Kenzie's on maternity leave, her beautiful baby. But in the meantime, it's cake.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And coming up, we'll have Gil Curtis with your headlines. Just after 7:10, Cage the Elephant tickets. So if you beat Lauren O'Neill, who's filling in for Kenzie on maternity leave, if you beat her in trivia, you get those tickets. By the way, Kenzie will check in with us today for Head to Headlines right around 8:20, so make sure you're here for that. Love to hear what's going on with the baby. What's going on with that baby? Tell us what's going on with that baby.
What is that voice?
That's just a voice when I think people say baby. Everybody asks me that, like, what's going on with that baby?
Everybody does that?
Okay, there's a woman downstairs that works here, a beautiful woman, 71 years old, works at our desk here in the Embassy Tower, and she goes, when are you bringing that baby in? Let me see that baby. And we haven't brought Harper in, sadly, because our schedules are so screwed up. Like, she goes, she's in daycare by the time the show's over. And I told Megan, why don't we let her go late to daycare one day and bring her down to the building and show her off.
That's a good point. She's never been here, has she?
She's not been here.
She should have come to the lounge last week. She would have loved it.
Oh, she likes Military Gun a lot.
A huge fan, I know.
Absolutely.
Everybody is.
So more conversation about Charles, these names, the top names that are linked to success. And by the way, good point. Kelly checked in. I think it was Kelly that said, why no women names? And I'm sorry that the top names are just dudes. That is sad.
We don't like that.
I don't.
But we didn't make the list either.
We didn't make up society either.
No. If
sorry.
it were up to me,
yeah,
I would have changed things by now.
Me too.
Yeah.
I want to be a house husband. I'd love a rich. My wife does pretty well, but it's not enough for me to get out of here.
Sadly not.
So let's see here. Names linked to success: Jim, Richard, Zhang, Charles, Mark, Wang, Michael, Thomas, David, and John. Now, it led to a conversation about O'Charlie's, and we found out there's only one of those in Marion, Illinois, which we found out John Gotti stayed in that prison.
That's right.
Also, we have Jesse Garcia checking in, all the way from San Antonio.
Shout out.
Whoop, whoop.
Alamo Dome?
He says, Pete Rose was also in that Marion prison
Why was Pete Rose in prison?
for gambling. And,
Oh, he went to prison for that?
well, I think he went for some other bad reasons.
I'm not a Pete Rose guy. He very much annoys me.
Well, he's one of those sports talk questions that divides everybody, saying he was the greatest of all time. Or, yeah, but he was a scumbag and ruined the sport. It goes on and on and on, back and forth.
He almost killed a guy in an All-Star game. I just have a hard time looking past that.
What did he do? I don't know that story.
He barreled over Ray Fosse, and I think the 1971 MLB All-Star game, he plowed the catcher.
Yeah.
And his thing is like, well, I was scoring the winning run. It was like, Pete, it's the All-Star game. Relax a little bit. And Ray Fosse was never the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ironically, he was also nicknamed Charlie Hustle.
Man, I love it when we come full circle like that. Oh, that is good stuff.
Lauren, do you know anybody named Charles? Anybody?
That's a great question. I know a lot of Chucks. Chuckies. I don't think I know
You know
Charles.
a lot of Chuckies?
What I want to know is what the hell is Case talking about? Lauren knows a lot about Wangs.
Actually, that was me that said that.
No, it's definitely Case. Lauren knows a lot about that. What does that mean?
Is that what I sound like, first
Yes,
of all?
that's what you sound like when you're talking about me, talking about Wangs. That's exactly what you sound like.
Do you know any Wangs?
I think she's seen a few in her day.
That's what I mean. What is that? What is that? Not as much as you.
It's a Tourette's thing. It's a gut reflex. You just can't help but not say it.
It's actually, it's an illness.
Yeah.
You look like you've seen a lot of Wang. And you didn't go to college.
That was Brian.
That was me. That was on me.
College of Wang.
Is that like the School of Hard Knocks?
Yeah, just a little bit different.
Where is the College of Wang?
So the south of Marion.
Yeah. Well, do you want to make a road trip for old Charlie's down there?
I was trying to remember, I think because I grew up in Florida, we had O'Charlie's, but we had Chief Charlie's. I don't know how culturally sensitive this place was.
I'm sure it holds up great.
In Palm Harbor, Florida.
Gee, well, who owned the place?
He was a chief.
Okay, if he was a chief, it's okay.
I'm sure it's Chief Jason.
I love the salad bar. And that's what introduced me to alfalfa sprouts.
Wow.
Yeah.
You thought you were getting one fact at 6:30? We got a lot from 6:30 till now.
Speaking of salad bars, final thing on Marion, Illinois, real quick.
Oh, boy.
847 checked in, Sam from LaGrange. He said Marion, Illinois has a fantastic KFC buffet, the only one he's ever seen.
Oh, I remember that.
I've never been to the KFC.
You've been to the
with a
KFC in
buffet.
Marion,
I
Lauren?
have, yeah, back in the day.
Why'd you go to Marion?
I didn't go to Marion. We had them in Florida.
Oh, okay. Florida with the Chief
Down
restaurant.
there. Chief Charlie's.
Did it have a big chief like out on the sign?
Actually, I think it was Chief O'Charlie's. Now that I think about it, which is like culturally insensitive to two different groups of people.
Well, Charlie's, how's that insensitive? To who?
O'Charlie's. You
Oh,
would
Irish.
think Irish
Oh.
people, and then Chief, as in our Native Americans.
Yeah. And I don't think the Irish and the Native Americans got along.
I don't think so. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know if they were ever buds.
I think historically, two groups of people that don't get along with a lot of people,
Yeah,
Also, both treated very poorly.
That's right.
Yes.
They know they have a reason to have a grudge.
No one talks about how bad the Irish were treated.
Well, the Irish do.
Yeah, rightfully so. They were treated really bad. Really bad. That's why we have a day for them. St. Patty's Day. That's what St. Patrick got mad about.
That's what.
Explain the meaning of St. Patrick's Day.
I don't have time right now.
No, don't do it.
Here comes Gil Curtis.
This is not headline news. A study found that cats have horrible short-term memories. In fact, they sometimes go as long as 30 seconds forgetting they totally hate you. A new study says that people are far more likely to be injured by a pet dog than a pet cat. But with the cat, it's far more likely to be intentional. The price of chocolate jumped 17%. What does it matter if it costs us an arm and a leg if the diabetes already cost us a foot? And CBS has renewed The Young and the Restless. Ironic title for the CBS demographic, which is the old and the pulseless. This is not headline news.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.